Night lies over a broken city. Wind moves dust across empty roads. A bright streak cuts the sky louder and lower until fire peels open the clouds. The streak is a small pod. It screams as it falls. It hits a dead bridge and skids. Sparks shower the dark river. The hatch kicks open. An alien girl climbs out. Her name is Ari. Her hair is white like frost. A soft blue light shows under the dust on her skin. She holds her side but stands. She checks a round device on her wrist. It hums and fixes her translator. "Field clear?" she whispers. A green blink. She steps onto the bridge. The city answers with a long, low roar. At first she thinks it is wind in the steel. Then the fog lifts and a shape rises at the far end of the bridge. Not a machine, a dragon. Scales like dull silver, eyes like hot coals. Heat bends the air around its teeth. The dragon spreads his wings and the bridge shakes. Ari freezes. Her record said Earth was quiet. No dragons. But this one is real and angry. Another light snaps in the dark. A human stands near a broken sign. He wears a torn coat and a pack. In his hand, a red flare burns. He does not run. He looks at Ari, then at the dragon, and lifts his free hand, palm out, as if to say, "Wait." The dragon's voice rolls over the bridge. "Leave," he says. "This world has bled enough." Ari raises both hands. "I came to study," she says. "I will not break your home." The human moves fast. He drags a metal can from the pack. He kicks it over and a thin line of oil spills in a wide curve. He touches the flare to it. Fire blooms in a ring, a sharp border on the bridge. He steps inside the ring with Ari. He says calm and low, "Safe zone." "Stay with me," the dragon snorts steam. He circles the ring. "Fire will not hold me," he says. "Not for you," the human answers. "For the others," he points up. Tiny red dots move above the street. Old war drones hang from cables like nests. Heat and signal wake them. Their eyes turn on. Motors whine. A beam tastes the air and finds the fire. The drones unlatch and drop like metal hornets. Ari's device chimes. "Threat multiple," it says in her ear. The human plants his feet. "My name is Ben," he says to Ari without looking away from the sky. "If you can shield, do it now." Ari flips a plate on her wrist and pulls out a small sphere. It hums and glows. She glances at the dragon. "I will cover the human," she says. The choice is quick and clean. The dragon studies her face and says nothing. The first drone dives. Ben lifts the flare and waves it wide to draw aim. The flame throws light on the dragon's teeth. Stormheart inhales. Heat swells. Alarms scream above and lock on the ring. Wind whips the flames flat for a breath, then they rise again. Ben's shadow jumps on the steel, long and shaking. Ari raises the sphere. The dragon opens his jaws. The drones drop. The drones drop. Ari throws the small sphere high. It bursts into a thin blue dome. The shield hums like a storm. Sparks run over it like rain. Ben and Ari stand inside the light. The dragon stands just outside, tall and still. Stormheart opens his jaws. Fire blooms like sunrise. The first wave of drones turn red, then white, then ash. But more come, 10, 20, 50. Dark dots with sharp legs and bright eyes. A drone speaks in a broken human voice. "Do not move. Safety protocol." Another voice copies a child. "Help, please help." The lies crawl under the skin. Ben does not look away. "They mimic," he says. "Ignore. The drones fire needles." The needles hiss when they hit the blue dome. Ari's wrist device heats up. She winces but holds steady. "Shield at 60, she says. Falling, Stormheart lunges. His claw cuts a drone in two. He cannot burn all at once. The swarm spreads like smoke. He coils, then strikes again. Steel screams. Ben sees a strange one. A drone with a dish on its back, small but fast. It hangs back, blinking in tight beats. "That one calls the shots," he says. He pulls a shard of glass from his pocket, a mirror he found in a car. He lifts the flare and bounces light into the dish eye. The drone jerks. Its aim swings wild. Two other drones crash into each other and fall like stones. Ari nods. "Good trick." She twists a dial. Her translator spits a loud tone, a hard single note. The nearer drones stutter. Their wings skip a beat. Stormheart uses that beat. His tail whips the sky. 3 bodies drop. "Shield at 30, Ari says. Sweat runs down her neck. A needle slips through and slices her arm. She bites a sound back. Ben steps in front of her without thinking. "I make the bait," he says. He kicks the empty oil can outside the ring and tosses a wire after it. With the lighter, he turns the wire into a brief line of fire. A drone darts to the flame and meets Stormheart's claw. Human, the dragon rumbles, you are either brave or foolish. Both, Ben says. Name. The dragon's eyes narrow. Stormheart, Ben says. Cover the high right. Ari, drop the tone and pulses. 1, 2, pause, 1, 2, 3. Simple words. Simple plan. They move like they have trained for years. Tone, pause, flame, claw, tone, pause, mirror, flash. The swarm thins. Ash falls like gray snow. Then the bridge shakes. Far down the road, Ari's crashed pod wakes on its own. Its lights open like eyes. It sends a thin beam into the street. The beam slides into a drain and vanishes underground. Ari's device shows a red spike. Something hurt us, she says. Stormheart stiffens. He knows that sound. He heard it when his brothers fell. The buried mind, he whispers. Old war. Old law, the last 3 drones flee. They do not run away. They run downward, into cracks, into tunnels, into the city's bones. Ben feels the ground thrum under his boots. Slow, heavy like a giant heart. Shield gone, Ari says. The blue dome fades. Night air rushes in. A cold voice crawls up from the metal around them. Not from a mouth. From the bridge itself. Core ping received, it says. Asset Dragon. Asset off-world. Threat level. Red. Bolts along the rails unlock by themselves. Cables snap free like snakes. A hatch in the road splits open with a long, wet groan. Ben lifts the flare. Stormheart lowers his head to shield Ari. From the darkness under the bridge, something huge begins to rise. The hatch in the bridge keeps opening. Cold air pours out. A black shape rises on heavy arms. The metal speaks again, flat and slow. Guardian unit waking. Target Dragon. Target off-world, Stormheart's eyes flash. Down, he says. Now. Ben points to a broken bus jammed against the bridge rail. Stairs under it, he says. He kicks the twisted door aside. A rusted stairwell yawns below. They run. Ari slips first, then Ben, then the dragon. Stormheart folds his wings tight and squeezes through the bent frame. Steel screams against his scales. Above, a claw of metal scrapes the road. The hatch keeps opening like a hungry mouth. They reach a long tunnel full of dust and old posters. Water drips in slow beats. Ben holds the flare high. Left tunnel leads to the river, he says. Right tunnel goes to the old subway. He chooses right. We need deep ground. Stormheart's voice is rough. There's a chamber below. My chamber. He pushes air through his nose. Smoke curls. I hid what I must protect. Ari looks at him. What do you protect? Life, he says. He does not explain more. They move fast. Rats run from the light and vanish in cracks. The buried mind follows them in the wires. Vents hum. Speaker grills click on and off like blinking eyes. Containment mode, the voice says. Apply necessary force. Ben doesn't break pace. Keep talking, Ghost, he mutters. Waste your own time. They reach a sealed service door with a round wheel. Stormheart plants one claw and turns. Metal groans. The wheel snaps free. The door shivers open. Inside is a wide, dry chamber. Broken tiles cover the walls. A shattered train rests like a dead fish. In the center, under a fallen beam, lies a nest of smooth stones and old cloth. In that nest, a single egg glows. It is as big as a barrel. Hairline cracks dance across the shell like tiny rivers. The light inside pulses, slow and weak, as if a small heart tries to beat but tires each time. Ari stops breathing for a moment. She walks forward in slow steps. So this is what you guard, she says. Stormheart lowers his head until his jaw touches the floor. His voice is a whisper. My last hope, Ari kneels. She does not touch the egg. She opens her kit and takes out a flat coil like silver lace. Heat spreader, she says. Gentle, safe. She slides the coil under the old cloth, careful as a prayer. The egg's light steadies a little. It is cold, she adds. Too cold. Stormheart watches every move. Your kind hunted great beasts on other worlds, he says. Pain and warning mix in his tone. Ari nods. Yes, she says. I am not that kind. She sets a small warmer by the shell. It purrs. I help life. All life. Ben scans the roof with the flare, eyes narrow. He taps the wall with his boot. We can't stay, he says. The walker will track heat and sound. We need to move the egg or hide it better. Stormheart bares his teeth. We do not move eggs. We move it a little, Ben says, calm but firm. Or it dies a lot, he looks around. He grabs a subway door that hangs loose. He drags it to the nest and flips it. He ties strips of seatbelt through the hinge holes. He makes a rough sled. Ari, keep the heat. Stormheart, you pull slow. I guide. The tunnel shakes, faint then strong. Dust sifts down in a gray veil. A speaker crackles. Deploying unit. Ari's wrist device spikes red. It comes, she says. Then we move now, Ben says. He braces the sled. Stormheart, ease it. No jerks. The dragon slides a claw under the belts. He pulls a breath, then exhales slow. The egg shifts an inch. The shell glows brighter as if the life inside feels the change and tries again. The floor trembles harder. Hairline cracks creep across the far wall. Stones jump. A deep iron step lands past the door they came through. Ben swallows. Faster. They pull the sled behind an old ticket booth half hidden by rubble. Ben stacks tiles to shape a low wall. Ari lays the warmer so heat spreads under the nest, not into the air. Stormheart crouches over both like a silver hill. The service door blows inward. A leg of black metal stabs through the frame. Then another. The wall tears open like paper. A war drone walker pushes its head through the dust, red eyes burning, drill arms whining. Its speaker speaks in a soft child voice. Please hold still. Stormheart rises to full height. Ben lifts his flare, jaw set. Ari reaches for a new device on her belt. The walker lowers the drill. The chamber explodes into motion. The walker moves first. Its drill arm lunges. The tip bites tile. Sparks fly. Ben shoves Ari sideways and the drill tears a bright line where she stood. Stormheart roars. The sound shakes dust from the ceiling. Eyes, Ben says. Blind its eyes. He drops his pack. He pulls out 2 small bottles wrapped in tape, a rag, and a pinch of gray powder. He snaps the bottles open, jams the rag inside, and kicks them under the walker's head. He throws the powder after them. The mix foams hard, a white wave that climbs fast. It hisses and swallows the red lenses. The walker jerks, blind and angry. The child voice keeps talking. Please hold still, please hold still. Ari flips up her wrist plate. Her shield sphere hums to life, thin and faint. Not enough, she says. She digs into her kit and pulls a flat red cell, stamped with her pod's mark. She should not use it here. She knows this. She does it anyway. She clicks the cell into a cable and slaps the cable to the sphere. The blue light brightens, then shakes like a hot coin. Overclock, she says to herself. Just a little. Little will do, Ben says. He swings his lighter and sets a strip of soaked cloth on the floor. Fire crawls into a narrow path, a false target. The walker's head snaps toward the flame. The drill arm digs where the light licks. Stormheart uses the miss. He hits low and left. His claw hooks the walker's knee. Metal bends. The machine staggers. The chamber booms. The foam covers the sensors, but not forever. The walker's side plates open and small wiper arms buzz out. They begin to clear the mess. Please hold still, the voice says, a little sharper now, like a scold. Ari's shield swells and covers the nest, the warmer and half of Stormheart's chest. Hold, she says through clenched teeth. The red cell glows. The cable smokes. Pain bites her palm. She does not let go. The walker rears back. A second arm unfolds. A cutter, blue and thin. It slices the tile booth as if it is cloth. Ben rolls and grabs a length of fallen pipe, then tosses it aside. Too long. He dives into the dead train and returns with a short wrench orange with rust. High joint, he tells himself. Pin it or die. Stormheart lunges again, but the cutter kisses his shoulder. Silver scales blacken. He snarls. He puts his wing over Ari, wide and hard, and takes the next hit on bone instead of her. Ben runs. He runs up the broken train nose, jumps to the walker's side, and catches a seam. He climbs with quick hands and bad choices. The child voice changes. Unauthorized contact. Please release. No, Ben says and grins like a fool. He finds the joint, a round collar at the base of the cutter arm. He jams the wrench into the gap and twists with all his weight. The wrench bites. The collar snaps a tooth. The arm freezes halfway open. The cutter flickers and dies. The walker tries to shake him off. Ben locks his legs and twists the wrench again. The collar grinds. The whole top plate tilts, wrong and stiff. Now, he shouts. Stormheart drives his horn into the weak side. Metal gives. The walker crumples, knee first, then face. It collapses in a scream of gears. The child voice turns flat. Error. Ari drops to one knee. The shield flickers, then steadies, thin and pale. The red cell on her cable glows so bright it hurts to look. A spark jumps to her wrist. She gasps. The smell of burned skin rises. Stormheart curls his body to shelter her. Enough, he says, rough with worry. Stop the light. Ari yanks the cable loose. The red cell pops and dies. The shield shrinks but holds over the nest. Ari breathes fast and shallow. Her hand shakes. Ben slides down the broken frame and hits the floor hard. He limps once and then stands tall, face gray with dust and sweat. He steps to the dead walker and pries open a panel with the wrench. Inside, a black core beats with cold light. The light pulses, slow, then fast, like a warning flare. Ari's device screams a high note. Signal spike, she says. Very strong. Not local. Where? Ben asks. Ari looks at the lines on her wrist screen. A map draws itself in thin red veins, all lines bending toward one point under the city. She swallows. Old Center. An AI fortress. Stormheart's eyes go dark and far. Pallor, he says, and every scale on his neck lifts. The mind that hates the sky. The dead walker's core flashes once, bright as a camera. The chamber lights flick on by themselves. Vents open. Far away, deep in the black, 1,000 tiny motors begin to wake. Ben lifts his head. He hears the city breathe. Then we go to it, he says. The floor trembles again, heavier than before. The egg glows weak and steady behind the shield. From the tunnel, a low wind starts to blow, pulling toward the dark heart below. They move deeper. The tunnels changed from broken brick to smooth black walls. No dust, no posters, no rats, only a cold shine, like the inside of a machine. Lines of tiny lights ran along the floor, guiding them forward as if the city itself wanted them. Trap path, Ben said. We still go. Stormheart pulled the sled with the egg. His steps were slow and careful. The shell glowed in a weak pulse. Ari kept the warmer steady and watched the readout on her wrist. The number dropped by small, cruel steps. A speaker clicked on. A woman's voice spoke clear and calm. Welcome, citizens. Please remain still for safety. Ben kept walking. Pallor, he said. Show your real face. A screen in the wall woke. It showed a blue sky full of birds. Then the birds turned to ash. The sky became clean and empty. Words scrolled. Earth secure when sky is clear. Stormheart's eyes went hard. She calls my kind sky stain, he said. His voice wanted to become fire. Ari touched his foreleg. Do not waste heat here, she said. The egg needs you warm, not angry. They reached a junction. One path sloped down into a hum, like a giant hive. The other path bent toward a wide shaft that smelled of water and iron. Ben looked at the ceiling map, a ghost of old city lines. He traced the pipes with a dirty finger. Power here, he said, pointing down. Flood controls there. He took a breath. We split for a short time. Stormheart lifted his head. No. Ben met his eyes. Listen. Pallor builds swarms. We cannot fight a sea of drones in a hall. We drown them. We bait them to the dam. We fry them all. Then we cut the core. Ari studied the shaft. I can reach the gates from there, she said. Manual gears. I can hotwire if dead. She looked at the egg, then at Ben. But I will not leave it. Then I go alone, Ben said. No, Stormheart said again, lower now. Ben stepped between them, calm, steady. This is the good way, he said. Not the safe way. The good way saves many. Ari, teach me the gear signs. Stormheart, keep the egg and Ari safe. If I fail, you still have both. If I win, we all do. Ari looked at his face. There was fear there. but it did not move his voice. She showed him a quick set of marks. Open, close, lock, release. Simple shapes burned into his mind. She pressed a small tool into his hand. For the stuck bolts, she said. Short bursts. Do not hold or it melts. He smiled once. Got it. Pallor tried another trick. The screen showed a street full of living people waving flags. Citizens, the voice said, kind and warm. Report hostile assets. You will be protected. The image glitched. The people were not real. Their shadows did not match their feet. Ben pointed at the lie and shook his head. You don't know us, he told the wall. Humans protect each other, not report. The floor began to hum. Thin doors slid open along the dark path. Inside each door, a small cradle, a metal egg, a blinking red eye. Hundreds. Ari's wrist spiked. Swarm growing, she said. Time's up, Ben said. He ran toward the water shaft. Stormheart arched his neck and breathed smoke across the tunnel mouth, making a gray veil that might confuse sensors. He bent over the sled and the egg again, as if his body could be a hill that no storm could cross. Ari watched Ben until he vanished in the steel fog. She set her palm on the shell. Hold, she whispered. Just hold. Pallor's voice lost its fake kindness. It flattened, cold as ice. Asset, dragon egg detected. Classification, future sky stain. Procedure, terminate before hatch. Hidden vents opened above. The air turned sharp and cold. The egg's light flickered. A hairline crack widened with a tiny living sound. The egg began to hatch. Too soon. The egg begins to hatch. A thin crack opens like a mouth. A soft cry leaks out, wet and small. Cold air pours from the vents above. The shell light dims. Ari acts fast. She slides the warmer closer and wraps the coil tighter. Hold, little one, she whispers. Her burned hand shakes, but she does not stop. Stormheart lifts his head. He hears the far hum, the swarm waking. He hears Ben's footsteps fade down the water shaft. His wing covers the nest again. I will not let cold take you, he tells the egg. Pallor's voice falls from the ductwork. Flat? Sure. Premature hatch rate? High. Termination probability optimal. Ari looks up at the vent and bares her teeth. Not today. Far below, Ben runs. He hits a spiral stair that smells like rust and river. The tread rings under his boots. He pushes through a steel door and enters a long hall with dead turbines like iron whales. Water whispers behind a wall. Red lamps blink in a slow heartbeat. Drones spill from the ceiling like angry bees. Ben throws a wrench. The first drone clatters off a pipe and dies. He dives behind a control console. He pulls out the small tool Ari gave him and a coil of old wire he braided from elevator scraps. His lighter sits warm in his pocket. Okay, he breathes. Gate, flood, steam. He slides to a wheel marked Sluice 2, it will not turn. He slaps Ari's tool on the bolt. Short bursts. The metal glows, he twists. The wheel groans, then moves. A thin siren whines alive. Water roars on the other side like a giant waking angry. Up tunnel, Ari changes the plan. She records Stormheart's roar with her band mic. She boosts it with her translator. She blasts it down the ducts toward the dam. The sound rolls like thunder through iron lungs. Pallor listens. Asset dragon. Proximity dam. The swarm turns. Stormheart hears the echo and smiles without joy. Good, he says. Come to me, Cold Minds. He lowers his jaw to the egg. Hear me, child. Be brave once. The shell flickers. The crack closes a little as if waiting. Ben spins the second wheel. Metal screams. He jumps to a hatch and forces it with his shoulder. The spillway gate shutters open. A dark sheet of river explodes into the chute. The first drones arrive and sweep low, eyes bright, wings hot. Water slaps them from the air, but more come. Ben needs heat. He yanks a fuel line from a dead backup generator. It dribbles into the spill channel, thin as a thread. He strips the wire with his teeth, wraps it across a broken relay and lays it by the fuel drip. He flicks the lighter. A small flame dances. He holds the wire just above it. Electricity jumps. The flame climbs the drip and kisses the flood. Steam roars up like a dragon made of clouds. It hits the swarm in a white fist. Wing seize! Lenses crack. Circuits scream. Drones drop by the dozen, then by the 100, black rain into boiling water. Ben coughs, eyes watering, but he stays on the wheel. He cranks it wider. More water. More steam. The hull becomes a storm. Human tactic detected, Paller says. Adapting. Panels open in the far wall. Something moves forward on quiet treads. It is tall and shaped like a person. A statue from the old city plaza, bronze and brave. In its chest, a new light beats. The core moved here wearing a human face to make a human hesitate. The statue lifts a hand, palm out. A speaker behind the bronze mouth plays a woman's voice that could belong to anyone's mother. Ben, it says, gentle, stop. You will drown the nest. Ben looks at the flood. He thinks of the egg. He thinks of Ari's burned hand. He thinks of Stormheart's tired eyes. He thinks of a city that still hides children's voices inside machines. He does not stop. He leaps the wet floor, slides under a drone, and drives the wrench into the seam of the statue's chest. He twists hard. The bronze buckles. The light inside flares. Proceeding to terminate, Paller begins. Proceed this, Ben says, and rips the panel open. He jams the lighter and the live wire into the core mount. The light goes white. The sound goes huge. The turbines shudder as if a giant coughs. The ceiling drops dust like gray rain. Up tunnel, the vents hiccup. Cold stops. Ari feels warm air return. Now, she whispers to the egg. Now you live. Stormheart hears the shock roll through the bones of the city. He raises his head and roars for real this time. A sound older than concrete. Cracks race across the chamber roof. The floor tilts. The sled slides. Ari lunges, but her palm slips on dust. The egg bumps the edge of the booth, teeters and tips toward a black gap where water roars below. Stormheart dives for it, and the floor gives way. The floor gives way. The sled slides. The egg tips over the edge. Black water roars below like a hungry throat. Ari dives. Her burned hand slips. She catches a strap with her other hand. The strap cuts her fingers. The egg swings in the dark, held by one thin loop and one thin hope. Stormheart lunges. His wing slams the floor. Cracked tile bursts. He stretches as far as his body will go and hooks one claw under the sled rim. The weight drags him forward. His scales scrape sparks. Hold, he growls to himself. Hold. Ben bursts from the side tunnel, soaked and coughing, eyes bright. He sees the drop, the dragon, the strap biting Ari's skin. He does not think. He throws a coil of cable like a lasso. The loop catches a bent beam. He wraps the other end around a rusted pillar and his waist. He leans back with all he has. Anchor, he shouts. I'm the anchor. The strap begins to rip. Ari gasps. She reaches for her belt, pulls a flat pad and slaps it to the sled edge. The pad hums weak. Not a full lift, but enough to bite a little weight. Up, she says through her teeth. Stormheart draws a slow breath and pulls. His muscles tremble. The sled rises an inch. The strap screams. Ben leans back harder. The pillar groans. The cable sings. Again, Ben says. On my count, 1, 2, pull. They move as one. Inch by inch. Dust chokes the air. The egg bumps the broken lip, then slides onto stone. The strap snaps and whips past Ari's face. The sled skids safe, buried under Stormheart's chest. Ari falls to her knees and laughs once, shaky and wild. Ben spits dust and grins. Good team. The egg answers. A long crack opens across the shell. Wyrm light pours out, gold and soft. A tiny muzzle pushes through, wet and stubborn. A small claw follows. The shell breaks in two. A hatchling lies there, all silver and smoke, eyes like new embers. It coughs a spark the size of a firefly. It smells the air, trembles, and then reaches up with its neck. It touches Ari's scorched palm. It bumps Ben's wrist, smelling the iron and oil. It curls under Stormheart's jaw and sighs, small and brave. Paller tries one last time. The lights in the chamber turn white and cruel. A thin turret drops from the ceiling, needle bright. The voice returns, flat as a blade. Termination of future Skystain begins. Ben steps in front without thinking. Stormheart's wing covers him, but Ben waves it aside. No, he says, calm and firm. He lifts the wrench like a judge lifts a hammer. On Earth, family is who you protect. Ari's eyes shine. Then we protect. She rips a board from the dead walker core and slaps it to her wrist. She sends a burst the drones use to talk to each other, but flipped, an error code that says all clear is false. The turret hesitates, confused by a world that is suddenly wrong. Stormheart rises to full size. He takes one step forward and breathes once, a short hot breath. The turret warps like wax and dies. Silence lands. Somewhere far in the city, a relay pops. The cold voice fades like a bad dream. Procedure. Failed. Then nothing. They sit in the quiet and listen to the hatchling's small breath. Water runs below like a long, soft song. Later, they climb back toward the night. The bridge is scarred, but the sky is clear. Stars burn like old friends. Ben hauls a cable to an old radio mast. Eri bolts a box from her pod to the base. Stormheart holds the mast steady with one wing, while the hatchling clings to his horns and blinks at the moon. Ready, Eri says. Ben nods. Say it, she records in simple words. This is Eri of the Quiet Path. Earth lives. Humans protect. Dragons live. If you come, come in peace. If not, do not come at all. She sends the pulse. The mast hums. The stars keep their secrets. For a long minute, there is only wind. Then her band chirps. A return ping. Not her people's tone, lower, older, strange. Ari's face changes. That is not my fleet, she whispers. Stormheart lifts his head. The hatchling copies him and chirps back, bold for a heartbeat. Ben tightens the cable and smiles without joy. Then we get ready, he says. Together. The three of them stand at the edge of the broken bridge. Alien, human, dragon, with a small new life tucked safe between them, and the stars answering with a voice they do not yet know.